This is Senator Adam Ollier, and this is day 9 of Airborne School, which means that we have finished Tower Week, which seems kind of scary, right? We've gotten all the instruction we're going to get before we go out next week and jump out of planes. So what did we do today? But for the most part, we spent the day going over parachute malfunctions, which was kind of those scary blocks of instructions of, hey, these are the absolute worst things that could possibly happen. Pay attention now, or you won't know how to do the thing when you need to learn how to do the thing, which sounds not at all helpful, but they're very detailed. It again instilled just an abundance amount of confidence in our equipment, because there's so much redundancy. There's so many built-in ways for you to be okay if something bad happens, or any of those kind of things. So we went over top to bottom, what do you do if this happens, right? So what if your main chute doesn't deploy? Pull your reserve immediately. Done. Too easy. Pull drop method. Boom. What if you have tangles in your line and you can't grab your canopy? You can't do all those kind of things. You grab behind you, you pull, and you kind of what they call do a bicycle run. So you're like running your legs like this while you're holding your suspension line, or you're holding your risers like this, and it'll take the twist out of you. And then your canopy should be able to be going. You should be able to check canopy, do all those other kind of things. And we practiced that in the improved harnesses, which was great. I mean, you go through all those kind of malfunction type things we talked about. What if you are going into trees? So if you're going into trees and you have you're doing a combat jump, so you have your combat equipment. If you have not already jettisoned it, if you haven't already lowered it, I should say, you keep it attached to you and let it hit the trees, because it'll add some extra protection. If as soon as you get there, then you can lower it or release it, making sure that you're keeping track of where it falls. Then you put your hand in your reserve chute right here, and you open it, and you're slowly releasing your reserve chute to lower yourself down. It's about 150 feet or something that you can do that, 100 feet, something like that. It's not 300 feet. So if you're up in a giant tree or in a tower, you're not going to be able to lower yourself down with your reserve chute. But if you're not in a super high tree, it could be a method to use. You then, once you've kind of lowered it, you move your hook and attach to your other D-ring. You take your harness out and you climb down your reserve chute. You don't do that at Airborne School because they have someone who will come get you. But if in your unit or during an operation you get stuck in a tree, that's how you do it, and you learn how to do it. Other malfunctions, let's say you land on someone's canopy. You are supposed to run off the canopy. You are supposed to crawl your way off the canopy, but you are never under any circumstances supposed to roll, because then you could get caught up in your risers and suspension lines, and that would cause a real problem for you being able to get to the ground. If you fall through someone's corner vent, one, that's bad. But two, if you guys are, you're stuck together with another jumper, and you can't get your way out, you grab each other by your riser right here on the left side, and you hold each other until you get to the ground, and you decide which PLF you're going to do, right? So are you going to do a right or a left? Definitely never ever a front, because then you hit each other in the head. So those are kind of some of the things. The scariest was, hey, what if your canopy doesn't inflate at that point, or if it collapses, then you push away and try and get some space from that person who you've just been holding with a two-hand death grip, and you pull away and you execute the pull drop method and pull your reserve, which would easily have to be the scariest thing in the entire world, but what can you do, right? So went through all of those kind of things. We practiced all those things. We practiced the water landing. So if you're coming up on a water landing, you take off your ACH as you get close. You open your, or you move your reserve over. You don't have to lock it on the D-ring like you do if you were going to do a tree lowering, just because you don't have that kind of time. You open yourself out of your harness, you try and slide, sideways, and you're holding the pins or the quick releases for your waistband or your leg straps, so that as soon as or right before you hit the ground, you can, or right before you hit the water, you can release, and then you kind of try and shimmy out and swim away from your canopy so you don't get stuck under it. If you don't have any air, you can push up into your canopy or your parachute while you're under the water to try and get some air. But bottom line, water landing, not ideal. Don't do it. Try and do the one slip risers away. And so we went over all those kind of things. If you're about to come into a jumper, pull a one slip riser, which is 1, 2, 3, pulling into yourself, so that you can go in that direction, or this whichever direction you need to do. The goal is to make sure that you are not caught up with another jumper. So apparently I've learned everything that I need to learn to successfully make 5 jumps next week. We had a short week because of Veterans Day, so it's a 4-day. So day 9 is today, and we finished Tower Week. And next week we will do 5 jumps. So cool. Again, this is Senator Adam Ollier. I'm your state senator. I am trying to give you kind of perspective about what it's like to be a reserve officer, what it's like to go to Airborne School. If you have questions or comments, please leave them in the comments. Please subscribe, please like, please do all those kind of things. So again, I'm your state senator, Adam Ollier. Thanks for tuning in.